Welcome to In History. We're exploring the lives of some of the most bizarre and intriguing individuals from ancient history. These figures stand out not just for their accomplishments, but for the strange, eccentric, and sometimes downright shocking ways they lived their lives. Sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of the weird and the wonderful. Our journey begins in ancient Rome with the infamous Emperor Caligula. Born Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, Caligula became emperor in 37 CE, and his reign quickly became synonymous with madness and excess. Caligula started his reign with great promise, but it wasn't long before his behavior took a dark turn. He is said to have declared himself a god, built temples in his own honor, and even ordered statues of himself to be placed in Jewish temples. His bizarre behavior didn't stop there. He allegedly appointed his horse Incitatus as a priest and planned to make him a consul. Caligula's reign was marked by extreme cruelty, lavish spending, and eccentricity that baffled even his closest advisors. His erratic behavior eventually led to his assassination in 41 CE by members of his own Praetorian Guard, who could no longer tolerate his madness. Next, we travel to ancient Greece, where we meet Diogenes of Sinope, a philosopher who took the concept of living simply to the extreme. Diogenes was a founder of Cynicism, a school of philosophy that advocated for a life lived in accordance with nature, free from societal conventions and material desires. But Diogenes took this to a whole new level. He lived in a large ceramic jar, or pithos, in the marketplace of Athens, and owned nothing but a cloak, a staff, and a small bag. He was notorious for his sharp wit and disdain for authority. When Alexander the Great visited him and asked if there was anything he could do for him, Diogenes famously replied, "Yes, stand out of my sunlight." Diogenes also wandered the streets during the day with a lantern, claiming he was searching for an honest man, though he never found one. Diogenes' life and teachings challenged the norms of Greek society and have left a lasting legacy in philosophy, particularly influencing the Stoics. From Greece, we move to Carthage, where we encounter a ruler so feared and hated that his name became synonymous with tyranny and cruelty. Phalaris ruled the city of Acragas, modern-day Agrigento, Sicily, during the 6th century BCE. He is remembered for his extreme cruelty, particularly for his invention of the brazen bull, a torture device in which victims were roasted alive. According to legend, the bull was designed so that the screams of the dying would sound like the bellowing of a bull. The story goes that Phalaris himself was eventually killed in his own creation when the people of Acragas finally rose up against him. Phalaris's name has become a symbol of tyranny, and his story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of absolute power and unchecked cruelty. Now we journey to ancient Egypt, where one of the most famous queens of all time, Cleopatra, engaged in bizarre and scandalous behavior to secure her power. Cleopatra VII was not only known for her intelligence and political acumen, but also for her unusual methods of maintaining control. To meet Julius Caesar for the first time, she had herself rolled up in a carpet and delivered to his chambers a bold and dramatic move that led to their infamous affair. Later, Cleopatra had a relationship with Mark Antony, one of Rome's most powerful men. Together they engaged in lavish, decadent feasts and public displays of affection that scandalized the Roman world. Cleopatra's death was equally dramatic. She reportedly committed suicide by allowing an asp, a venomous snake, to bite her after she and Antony were defeated by Octavian. Cleopatra's life and death have become the stuff of legend, with her story symbolizing the intersection of love, power, and tragedy. Our next stop is ancient Britain, where we find a queen who became a symbol of resistance and vengeance against Rome. Budika was the queen of the Iceni tribe in what is now eastern England. When the Romans invaded and mistreated her people, Budika led a massive uprising against them around 6061 CE. Her army sacked Roman cities, including Londinium, modern London, in a campaign of vengeance. What makes Budika's story bizarre is the sheer ferocity of her rebellion and the extent of her revenge. Despite being vastly outnumbered, she inflicted significant damage on the Roman forces. Although her revolt was ultimately crushed, Budika became a legendary figure in British history, symbolizing the fight for freedom against oppression. Finally, we travel to ancient Mesopotamia, where we meet Nebuchadnezzar II, a king whose madness led him to believe he was an animal. Nebuchadnezzar II was one of the greatest kings of Babylon, known for his grand building projects, including the Hanging Gardens. However, according to the Bible, his pride led to a divine punishment. He was struck with a strange madness, causing him to live like a wild animal for 7 years. Nebuchadnezzar reportedly wandered the wilderness, eating grass like an ox, with his hair growing long and his nails resembling bird claws. Nebuchadnezzar's story is often interpreted as a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris and the importance of humility, leaving a lasting legacy in religious and historical texts. These figures from ancient history remind us that the past is filled with individuals whose lives were anything but ordinary. Their stories, whether marked by madness, cruelty, or brilliance, continue to captivate and astonish us today. If you enjoyed this journey through history's strangest lives, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more fascinating tales on In History.